I like this car that I found. Welcome to Hot Take Headquarters. I'm V. This is Doc.
I'm a Porsche fanatic, professor.
I'm V. I'm a car enthusiast, specifically Toyota. This is Japanese. I love the Japanese car manufacturers. I work in the AV industry.
So we're going to take a look at things on Bring a Trailer auction results right now. I've already spotted like 15 things that my nervous system can't deal with. Do you want to go first? Are you ready?
No, you should go first.
Okay, I can't deal with this. So on February 2nd, this 1992 Porsche 911 Carrera RS. Oof. This sold new in Germany, was acquired in 2023 before being imported to the US. It's in ruby stone red over black leather, multi-tone pink and purple seat inserts, 3.6 naturally aspirated, 5-speed manual, limited slip, 17-inch cup wheels. I have those wheels in my basement, by the way. 57,000 miles, excuse me. Look at the seats. Ooh.
Ooh.
I know. Look at the back seat, non-existent.
That's
So ruby
beautiful.
stone is not for everybody. This is what this color is called.
Ruby stone?
Yeah, look at this car. It looks brand new under here.
It is. They took.
This car is old, bro. This car is 5 years older than you.
Yeah, that's wild. And then what? It's a bid for $270,000.
Yeah, what do you think of ruby stone?
No, that's a very unique color.
It's called ruby stone, ruby star. I don't know why there's a difference. As a Porsche fanatic, I probably should know, but I don't. But yeah, what do you think of it?
This definitely has like that classic old school Porsche look to it.
There's two questions: is it pretty, and then there's would you spec that car? I mean, that's a big thing. The difference there. Would you build that car? You know, for me, those aren't always the same answer. Do you think you could buy that car?
Me probably not. I probably wouldn't buy this car just because I like more of the newer generation Porsches, how they look. This is just a very vintage looking Porsche. I think it's beautiful. I love like the color of this car. I also like how like that door handles are black, kind of to match like the window trim. Yeah.
Back in those days, they made it really, even in my car, the 944 and the 924, when you would, similar mechanism, when you would close it, there was a metallic like ding.
You could hear it.
Yeah. And it was very, I'm sure there's videos of this person, slamming a door, and you could simplicity and German engineering, robust.
Is this the engine right here, like that back?
Oh yeah.
And you can access it. There's no like thing on top of it.
Right. This is before all that hide the engine stuff. It's all accessible.
That you know what I might consider. That's nice. That's really nice.
I mean, you could daily this, and wouldn't that be a great life? Kind of beautiful. I mean, so you like take it out once in a while. You go out to dinner. God, I mean, it's not for everybody, but as a thing, it's such a spectacle to behold. I think it's so pretty.
Ooh. I was gonna say I love the taillights. The taillights look beautiful in the Carrera RS.
By the way,
ooh, those tires are fat too. Though those rear tires, wow.
Yeah.
I was looking at that 2000 Nissan Skyline GTR V Spec, and
you're liking Nissans a lot lately. Wow, that's expensive.
It is. You see how much you bid for?
$325,000 on February 1st. Yeah,
it's bid for more than the Porsche. That's
bro, over 50% more than the Porsche.
Oh, look at this 2000 Nissan Skyline GTR is number 33 of approximately 38 V-Spec N1 examples.
Look at the wheels. Yeah. Look at the wheels.
You see those brakes too?
Oh my God.
That's why it caught my attention.
Oh my God, look at the seats.
Ooh, I like that steering wheel, GTR. I think that this is my favorite car that Nissan produces, with twin steel turbine turbochargers and an auxiliary oil cooler.
276 horsepower in 2000. 400 was like kind of wild supercar. The same era 2000 E39 M5 V8, and that made 394 horsepower. That was supercar level, so there was bigger. But why this was so special was it was limited. It was so limited in production. So, and the motor is incredible.
Well, is this rear-wheel drive or is it front-wheel drive?
All-wheel drive.
All-wheel drive? That's impressive. Okay.
I love the spec on that. Those taillights, oh my God.
I love the color of the car too.
Look how Skyline is embossed in the back. Ooh.
Oh.
Damn, that's fresh as hell.
That is very nice.
Bro, look at these wheels. Nismo wheels. You know what Nismo means, right?
I do not.
Oh my God.
What?
These are raised. If you played Gran Turismo once in your life, shout out to Sony Polyphony for Gran Turismo, all the Gran Turismos. You would know because they have like wheels. You could mod your cars and things like that. And it's in some ways based in reality. So anyway, these are raising wheels, and these are Nissan Motorsport. That's what Nismo stands for. Nissan Motorsport.
Nissan Motorsport.
Nismo.
Okay.
Look at this.
What is that?
Look at all these gauges.
Oh yeah, it has all of that.
Oh my god. Okay, that's too much.
I see some carbon fiber on here. I'm just trying to see where though.
Ooh.
No, yeah. The Nissan GTI though, that's my favorite. The exterior design is just always gorgeous, and then the performance of those cars are very impressive too. And I'm like, this is a Nissan? Just I don't know, like just in the regular mainstream vehicles, Altima and stuff like that CVT transmission just don't always feel right. But what you got?
2013 BMW M3 Coupe in one of 200 in the Lime Rock Park Edition, which was produced for a single year. 12,000 miles, 4-liter V8. This thing makes some noise. These tend to be loud.
They look very loud. I was gonna say, like, is this the last model year where BMW had the M3 as a 2-door? Because I haven't seen a 2-door M3 in a long time. I think all the M3s now recently just all 4-door.
That's because the M4 is that car now.
They switched.
Like Audi had the A4 and the A6 and the A8. BMW had 357. Now those cars competed, but as Audi grew and made the A5, and so BMW grew and said, okay, we are going to make this car the 2. And so anyway, it got a little confusing. When it came to the 3 Series, it's not a different car, it's 2-door. So they just called it the M3 then, and they changed it to M4 because it's got 2-door. So today they make an M3 in 2023, but it's so the M3 is a sedan and the M4 is a coupe for all intents and purposes. And this is the predecessor to that.
Oh, okay.
This was probably the last naturally aspirated V8. This is the first time they put a V8 in an M3. I mean, people bugged out.
Really?
Yeah. That's a lot of power.
400 something?
414 horsepower.
That's a lot of horsepower. This is a very unique color too, this orange. Those are very pretty wheels too, those rims. I'm seeing this car on the highway behind me. I'm moving to the right. Like, it does look very aggressive, but at the same time, it doesn't look too aggressive. Like, I feel like people will sleep on this car if they don't know what it is.
That's for certain.
People just don't know what they're up against. That looks like a problem. That's a beautiful car. Looks like a regular BMW.
And this is kind of what's different now. BMW sold this car because of what it can do. Now labels are so powerful, they slap it on other cars that maybe have sports seats or a sports suspension or bigger wheel. That doesn't mean it's an M car. So these were meant to be sleepers. No one really thinks a 911 is too loud. I mean, you have to know what a turbo is to think it's something special until they get the big wings on them. Ooh, look at it in silver. Ooh. Yeah. What? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh my god!
That's not the real. Is that the real price?
Yeah.
How much? How many miles?
85.
Look,
look at that car's, bro. Bro, look at the back quad exhaust.
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
Is that stock though? Do you think they changed that?
But it was quad exhaust in the factory for sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a mean car.
What made you fall in love with cars?
I've always loved cars from a young age. When I was growing up, I'd always play with toy cars, like in the sand or in the dirt with my friends, my brother. I've always had that appreciation for cars. I've always just enjoyed just seeing them, playing with them, and then it wasn't until like maybe a few years ago when I started watching like YouTube like these car journalists and all these pages. That's when I started to like dive more into like that hobby of mine. Because I think when I was growing up, I always appreciated. I'm like, oh, that's a nice car. The information I know about like Lexus, understand like the nomenclature, like what kind of engines you put in certain cars, that developed within the past few years, and I think that started with me just
from YouTube. That's a great memory. I had them too, little Matchbox cars,
like Hot Wheels.
Yeah,
yeah. I remember when I was growing up, one of my family friends had a Toyota Celia, and I always thought the car was so cool. I think it was green.
Ooh,
and I'm just like,
spicy.
I was like, that car is so cool. I love it. Like, I want that car. Kind of like a pine green.
Oh, shit. Okay, pine action.
Yeah, so I just remember I always loved that car. I guess that's the first car I can think of, actually. I'm like, oh, wow, that's a
That's
Those
the
are nice.
first car you remember seeing in person that you were like, "Whoa, cool."
Yeah. I was gonna say, how about you?
Yeah, I had the Matchbox cars, and I played with them too. I knew what they were. I mean, I knew this one was a 928 Porsche. I knew this was a Firebird, and I also had monster trucks. I really liked them. Like my love of cars. I really there's a two part of like the first car that I was impressed by in person that blew my mind, convinced me that I loved cars. But that's a different story from my love of cars in general and where how it grew. The love of an appreciation and passion for cars, it really came from learning how to read. When I was a kid, I really didn't know how to read, and I had several learning disabilities and stuff, undiagnosed, of course, at that time, and it was really difficult. I couldn't remember anything in books I would read, and it killed my motivation. I was so bad at it, and my brain wouldn't focus. So the only thing my mom noticed that I would read is car magazines, and it was about Porsches in particular that I was kind of obsessed with. So she would buy me, subscriptions to car magazines. Shout out
Wow.
to my
Okay.
mom. One of them was, of course, Porsche Excellence, which was my introduction to Porsche, and all of it was a technical magazine about what Porsche was up to and what the market was doing, and I fell in love. But more importantly, I guess in my life, that's how I learned to read. Really, I could recite anything. My mom would ask me questions. I could know anything in an instant, like what power this car made or 0 to 60 time, and I knew it all.
Wow.
And that was kind of like where my love of cars like really came from, was and having it like have somebody support it who was an adult, happened to be my mom. It
Mhm.
was pretty cool. And she knew that I really loved them, and it was okay, like this hobby was cool. I never saw Porsches growing up at all. I didn't see them around. I didn't grow up in that kind of environment. But the first car I ever remember seeing and being really impressed was a 3 Series in his garage that was his friend's,
Oh, okay.
and his
Gotcha.
friend was storing it in his garage
Mhm.
in Long Island, and I would sneak in there and go in there, and it had a manual sunroof that you could open, and then you could crank it. And I remember that was like the coolest thing in the world, to be
Wow.
inside this garage and opening up this BMW sunroof on this car. And it was, I mean, I never seen a BMW in my life, but
Mhm.
that was the first car I saw, and I said, "Wow!" As a thing, I was like, "Holy shit! What is that?" I couldn't believe it that I was
Yeah.
touching one. It was like a rookie card for Michael Jordan. You knew what you were touching was special, and you were around. You knew it wasn't an ordinary thing. What is a car that is that you always have in your mind that is rare to see, or you just still love?
Yeah, that's a really hard question. I had a 2014 Lexus IS350.
So new Lexus. What
Nothing
color?
bad. It was a light green, but I
Damn,
really,
you're on a green kick. I'm
I
gonna find
am.
oak green 911 and show you, because I think you'd like that shit. Since you're on a green kick, bro. Ooh,
A green is nice.
damn,
I've
bro.
never thought of owning a car in a green color, but like it's very. That's.
Bro, Targa
Mhm.
911. Look at this car in oak green with tan leather. It's like a transformer.
It really does. That's very pretty.
Ooh.
GTS. Look at those. Are those back seats? That's back seats. Oh my.
Let's see what the sticker was. The OG sticker, right?
Let's see.
$217,570.
Yep.
Woo!
Sounds about right. I'm like, that car looks like at least 200.
The most expensive option on this car, by the way, the car has one option that's $17,920, and that's the special wish, which I'm not going to try to say in German. Custom tailoring option, meaning that interior everything, bro, is 17. That's the cost of my Jetta new.
I
Is
was gonna
that
say,
option? That box cost my Jetta new.
this is just a random question. Why do 911s, all of them, have a flat six? Is there a special reason why that engine's in that car? Why they don't put another one?
They have put other engines in that car. The 911 came out of the 356. This came out in 1948. This is what they were doing in 1948. Through 1965, and it was succeeded, of course, by the 911. When the 911 came out, 1964, they did put a different engine in the 911, and famously, that was the 912, which they do not do now. 912 was the 911. It was the same car, except
Mm-hmm.
it had a flat four.
Yeah.
Put it in this car, offered it as an affordable 911 Lite for limited years. That was the only time put a different motor. They've turbocharged the motor in the same car. There's never been a 911 production car made ever that didn't have 6 cylinders or horizontally opposed, unless it was this 912.
Very brief.
About 5 or so years, if even.
Hmm.
and they're about 32,000 worldwide.